La Maison Rosewood Shelter is committed to serving all women, and that's why we have integrated harm reduction within our emergency shelter for abused women and children. Women can consume alcohol in our shelter, and no woman is turned away from any of our programs based on substance use. We know that there's limited research on harm reduction, specifically as it relates to violence against women, and that's why we have engaged Drs. Hovey and Scott to conduct research at La Maison Rosewood Shelter regarding women's experience of harm reduction.
We conducted 25 interviews with women who accessed La Maison Rosewood Shelter after the 2008 harm reduction implementation. Our data was analyzed using thematic methodology. 3 main themes emerged from the women we interviewed: their experiences of harm reduction, their perceptions of safety at the shelter, and their thoughts about an ideal shelter. We found that women's described experiences linked with how they perceived feelings of safety. Their experiences and perceptions of safety influenced the women's opinions about including harm reduction in their ideal shelter. Most women affirmed that La Maison Rosewood should continue using harm reduction. However, many women identified the need for consistent enforcement of the shelter guidelines. About half the women indicated they were triggered by other residents' substance use in relation to their own use and/or past trauma. These women identified a need for staff to better respond to their concerns when triggered by other residents' use. These findings contribute to broader discussions about how to address substance use by women who access VAW shelters. Provincial standards require that all abused women should have access to shelter services, including those who use substances. Further research is needed to develop an evidence-informed harm reduction framework. A harm reduction approach can be a viable way to promote the health and safety of abused women when the needs of all residents are addressed.
At HTH, we know that anti-violence work is complicated. Harm reduction doesn't make the work any more complicated. What it does is makes our service accessible.